Hello, everyone. Welcome to Popcast Live. My name is John, and I'm all by myself tonight. It'll make sense in a minute here. If you're not a follower of the channel, I am the resident comic book fan here, so doesn't make sense for me to always have reviews with someone else that hasn't read the book, so it doesn't work out for a discussion as well. So I'm here tonight by myself to talk about Inglorious REX Volume 2. So if you're live with me at all, we got YouTube, Kick, X, and Twitch. Can be in any of those places. Give us a thumbs up. Make sure you leave comments, all that sort of thing. If you have anything to say. So this won't be a super long stream. We're just gonna kind of get into it, and unless you have something to contribute in chat. Inglorious REX. So if you've been following the channel at all, I previously reviewed the first volume. It's by Shane Davis and Yanzi Lin from Nine Lives Comics. And the reason I was sold on it, other than I guess knowing Shane Davis's art, seeing examples of that, and being like, oh, that looks very good, was that he does some martial arts, and so he wanted to have a fighting book and do a fighting book that had more realistically represented combat sports. So I thought that was cool. I'm a fan of that. The monster element of it is less appealing to me. But, if anything's done well, it's done well. So after the first volume, I enjoyed the artwork a lot. I enjoyed the premise. I felt like I wanted more to have happened in the book. And it's a thing I've been finding a lot recently in comic books, especially Western comic books that I've been picking up, is this difficult balance between giving me details and character moments and spending time in fight sequences and stuff like that versus like getting from point A to point B quickly. Like one thing, it can feel slow if you are spending too much time with those character moments and too many panels on a fight. But sometimes then without that, you are, I'm failing to become invested. So, and I get it's a typical thing. Like you want to have a complete package, something, you want to have something happen. But I need to care about that too. So I don't know. The volume 1 was enough to get me into volume 2, is what I'll say. And again, the highlight being the art in that. So volume 2 just arrived now a couple days ago. Well, it's been a little longer than that, actually. And I want to talk a little bit about the service from Nine Lives Comics. So I initially got, I got it here, my copy. I think this is the 24-hour variant, and I got this book, and it had the first page was coming out of it. And, as a collector's thing, I didn't want that. So I reached out to the support method, the contact method on Indiegogo, and I got a response from Yanzi very quickly, shockingly quick. and asked for a picture, sent a picture. And before I knew it, like, I think the next day, a new copy had been sent out. So that was really good. I contacted the one way, I guess, at Indiegogo, and then contacted via X, via Twitter, to share the photo, whatever. And both versions, both methods was fast and quickly resolved. So that is something. I've also had some support from on the website through other things, just questions or whatever, and I've had good support that way too, quick responses. So that's a plus. All right, onto the book itself. I already show you this. The idea here is I'm going to attempt to not show too much of the inside, not show too much for spoilers and all that sort of thing, but I'll show some interiors to let you get a feel for it. I guess before the story, I want to talk about, again, getting this book and the kind of whole package. I ordered the book and I got the supplemental, but from my experience now with these guys' campaigns, I always feel like I'm getting a good amount for what I'm paying, because I just get surprised with stuff. Both campaigns I've had from Inglorious REX have come with magnets. Both have come with stickers, and they're nice stickers too. They're pretty large, that sort of thing. And then they also come with trading cards. So I don't remember which ones, there's some came with the first campaign and some came with the second, but I got this book to put them in. It's fun that, sorry, Yanzi, that's her one there. But anyways, I should go and read the cards. I've always been bad at that, but I haven't read. They give power ratings on the back of them and some of that sort of thing, height and weight. So it's just a good edition. It's a good experience. You get the book, and then I never pay that much attention to all the stretch goals, but apparently a lot of them get hit, and so I always get extra stuff. So that's just a plus. I don't know if, I imagine the cards are the same with every one. I wish I kind of knew an order to put them in, because I guess you put them in order for the different types. Like the character cards are numbered on the back, so you put those in. But then there's like scenes and stuff; those sort of have a different number. So I don't know. Doesn't matter. There's not that many yet, but hopefully over time. And then I think this is the sticker that came with this campaign. So yeah, they're high quality stickers, and it's just a nice plus. Okay. The book itself. All right. So a consistent thing from volume 1 is the art. The art is still really good, but we have a little more variety, it feels like, in the settings and stuff. So we have a little more to look at. I just can't complain about the art. I'm a fan of sort of I just think 90s X-Men sort of thing. I like seeing lines. I like seeing it a little grittier. This isn't that. This is really clean art, is how I often describe art these days. But it's highly detailed. Characters appear consistent between panels, characters and monsters and stuff like that. So lots of detail and like buildings and stuff like that. The monsters themselves have a lot going on with them. The color works well. It feels like a book that is color graded well, in a sense, and like a filmmaking sense. It seems like there is a palette, and so the whole book looks as one. It's the right sort of ambience, all that sort of thing. There's I won't show it because you should just read it to see it, but there is one double page spread, barely any words on it. That's really, really cool. So I like taking those moments to have a proper giant 2-page spread sort of thing. Okay. Story. So my main issue with the story is I don't care about our main protagonist. Still, after reading this, I still don't care about Alex Stone. There's not anything wrong with him exactly. I should care more, I suppose, but as we'll talk about later, Anna is the one sort of to root for. I don't. It's Alex feels like he feels like a kind of pathetic character at this point, and I'm sure that is part of the story arc. But the way you perceive these things is interesting, because if I'm reading, say, which I'm used to a lot now, reading a manga, and I can read like 6 volumes in a row if I want, there's a chance for that character growth in those 6 volumes. We have 2 volumes to deal with here and a couple of supplementals. And so while I assume Alex is going to be someone that's inspirational and rises above and all that sort of thing, we don't see that yet. See the path forward here. But at the same time, too, it's again someone that's really decided to put again, I don't want to spoil too much, but put their sort of legacy ahead of their relationship, his relationship. And I don't prefer that either, really. So we get a little bit of that in here, a little bit of like, said we wouldn't fight, all that kind of thing. That stuff is good. I like that. I like the situation that Anna and Alex get thrown into. And again, the thing I'm more interested now in is, 1, Anna, and then 2, the larger scale happenings in the world here. What's going on outside? Why are we, why is little T in charge? Who, I guess, is there no other structure of authority here? Little T is the end all be all. Like, it's fine to have these questions. Can be difficult to remember and then wait for those questions whenever the next book arrives, which I hope is, making good progress. So I'm intrigued by the outside world. I want to know what's happening with, and this, I'll follow up on this more because that gets deeper in the supplemental. I wrote some stuff down so I didn't forget. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Okay. So one thing I've been really, really harping on these days is exposition, and people needing to find the right way to deliver exposition. And I will say this book does quite well compared to a lot of what I've read recently. They use, for instance, the television, the people talking to deliver things that make sense. You to be having a discussion on the air between 2 people and figure out, you deliver important information that way. Makes sense. Good. You get word bubbles, or like, I should say, they're like thought bubbles boxes where they should be, so people aren't just saying things out loud that they could easily be thinking. That's good. There's one moment that stood out. I wasn't like looking for this, but like I say, I've been sensitive to it these days. But one moment of little T sort of explaining things to his assistant and stuff that didn't seem necessary. It seemed out of place. He wouldn't do that. It was short, wasn't long, but I did think, would he be saying this in this moment? That bothered me. But other than that, exposition was done well. So good marks there. Okay, so for the main book, kind of summing up the main book, volume 2 here. I enjoyed this one quite a bit more than the first one. It had a good pace, and we started to do more interesting things. Again, the outside world is what's intriguing to me, and so getting into that is all good. Problems, we still aren't getting that far, whilst me still not caring about our protagonist. So that's an issue, I guess. But big improvement from number 1, I think, and has lots of potential going forward. So, okay, the Blood, Sweat, and Tears Volume 2, the supplemental. I enjoy, from memory, I enjoyed the first supplemental, but it didn't wow me. However, this is the best thing in Inglorious REX right so far. This Blood, Sweat, and Tears Volume 2. It's a shorter book, but it's got 2 stories. This had me reading quick right through it. It was there were short stories that gave important information, and the first, the name right, called Mission Control. The first one is really, oh yeah, I got a mark as well. So that's good. First one, so story is still by Shane Davis and Yanzi Lin, art by Antonio Mastria. I don't know who he is, but this is really, to me, sets up like Aliens. Feels like Aliens, second one. Group of people on a mission, wearing sort of hazard space suits, military, and we don't know exactly what they're trying to do. We figure it out pretty quickly, and things go sideways. And this ties directly into the main book, volume 2, because so again, it just added a real depth that we wanted from the main book. It added in this thing that they didn't need to explain to us why, where this thing was coming from, but they do here, and it's great. The art is less great. It's still good. It's still good art, but it's not as good as the main book. It's not as good as Shane Davis's art. But yeah, things go sideways here, and we get to caring about the kind of one person in this short little story. I get to caring more about one person here than I have at all this entire time for Alex Stone. And so it's just well done. And again, not only does it answer a question from the main book, but it adds further mystery. And you can kind of start to think of theories or why they need this thing, how this is all working. I have to say that what this also is reminding me of, and it's interesting that this is coming out now, is both Helldivers, in a sense, fighting off like hordes, kind of outgun sort of thing, which is very big right now, and Kaiju number 8. So Kaiju number 8 is a manga. It's been very popular for a long time, but now the anime is airing episode a week every Saturday or something like that. And that is about a team of people kind of with specialized suits that go and they have to take down these kaiju, take down these giant monsters. And we get to asking questions in that, like, where'd the kaiju come from? Why are they doing what they're doing? Is there some is there some role of fault that humanity has to play? And I start asking these exact same questions for, especially after reading Blood, Sweat, and Tears, Volume 2. So I don't think that matters. It's just interesting that, almost could be used as a marketing thing at this point. Got these things that are popular. This is, I'm thinking of these same kinds of things, and it honestly sort of helps me. And like, again, I'm not big into the whole idea of kaiju, but I'm watching kaiju number 8 and I'm reading this. It feels like it just draws me in a little deeper. There's some, I can feel similarities and makes me ask questions of each other, like where the story's going. So first story, high marks. Well done. I do hope, I was kind of hoping for a little more ambiguity at the end of it, just to see if maybe the story goes involving this other character. But yeah, I'd be interested if something here comes back to us later. Okay, the next story is Anatomic Connection, it's called. And that one is also, still written by Shane Davis and Yanzi Lin, but the art by Shelby Robertson. And I really like the art. It has a like a X-Men Extreme vibe to the art style. So I dig that. And plus, she does a really good job of drawing women breasticles. It's just good. It's good art in this. And again, it's stuff that I didn't necessarily need to know, but I'm happy that I know it. And it's made me once again like Anna even more and be more invested. It also did this cool sort of pixely effect. Maybe you can't see here, but sort of a low res effect to the art. And I was confused by that at first, but then when I was flipping through it, but then as I read it, it makes sense. So that is cool. Yeah, high marks for the Blood, Sweat, and Tears Volume 2. It's a quick, easy read because you want to keep reading it. It's again the best thing, and it's just, it did the two things. The second story made me like Anna even more. It again shows that I'm interested in her because I wanted to know this. And she feels like a character that has like gone through a lot and, risen above. Whereas Alex is still in that process of being a loser, frankly. Like I don't like the way things were handled, way things ended up in the last volume to get him to where he is now. So he's just not a inspirational character to me. And then the second thing this book does is shows me more of the outside and makes me really interested in what is going on exactly, how much, ask me more questions about little T power structure there. So it's, yeah, good stuff. Okay. I'm not gonna, let's see, make sure that I mention everything I wanted to here. That thing I can't say without a spoiler, but that's about it. I've been reading. Okay, so I have a pile of independent comics that I need to get through. And when I got this one, it's like, okay, I'm waiting a while for this one. I'm put this one to the top to read it. So I did. And of the other independent comics I've been reading recently, this has been the most satisfying. There's a lot that I try reading them less than super interested. I've some been outright disappointed in, particularly in the writing department. I'm a stickler for art, but ultimately, I can, if I do give something a chance, I can put up with the art being not to my liking if the story is really good. And there's a lack of people that know how to write all over the place in all forms of media. It's really disheartening. It makes me turn off or stop reading a lot of things. So it's good to have Inglorious REX that, despite my reservations, is a well written story. I like the book quite a bit and would recommend it to anyone for sure. Pick up the volume 1 and 2, pick up the couple supplementals. You have all those things at once, and you have yourself a pretty good span of stuff to read. So I don't know if I do like a letter grade or something. I do on out of a numbers out of 5 scale, I'd be talking like a 4 kind of in total for the volume 2 stuff. And yeah, so that's been Inglorious REX. I want to say, let's see. So I put the ticker down there in 9 lives. I don't know what is presently available. Like if you can get what you can get right now. So Inglorious REX Volume 1. Yeah, right now on the website, ninelivescomic.com, the Inglorious REX Volume 1 is available to purchase, along with some merch. And then, yeah, so that is always the tricky thing. I'm reviewing this here. If you really want to get it, it doesn't look like it's available right now. So if you were interested, you'd have to get volume 1, and then, but if it was me, and this is something you would like to pick up, I would wait for the Inglorious REX 3 campaign. Inglorious REX 3, whenever that comes out, then you'll be able to get, I'm sure, 1 through 3, all the supplementals and all that sort of thing. That can get to be a higher bill then, but I prefer, it's catch-22, I guess. I got I haven't reviewed it yet. I reviewed the first 2, I think, of like volume 1 and a supplemental or something on the main podcast of Graveyard Shift. And the trick with that is I bought it because I love John Malin's artwork. As I read it, it's like I'm just not hooked enough in this story. Now I have a ton of Graveyard Shift stuff, which might, for me, get better as I go through it. But I have so much to read, so much to watch. I want to make myself go through it. Now I have Godlike that just arrived today from Malin, and that, to me, that looks really good. So that's gone to the top of my list after this to read. So it just depends on the project. My point is here that I went without knowing, just off of the artwork from Malin, buying a shit ton of Graveyard Shift. And now I'm like, I don't feel compelled to sit and read through it all. But if I do love something, it's nice to be able to do that. That's my point. So if Inglorious REX 3 comes out, if it was me now, it would be nice to pick up Inglorious REX 3 and everything in the back catalog, read through it all at once. You get a good meaty chunk to handle, to chew on. That'd be good. But if you don't like it, then you just spent a lot of money to catch up. But I think to me, hopefully off of this, I've been giving you enough that maybe you can decide whether it's something that's for you or not. So 9livescomics.com. You can check out volume 1. Otherwise, just follow 9lives Comic and Shane Davis and stuff like that on X. Sign up for the next thing or whatever. So, okay. I think that's it. Unless anyone has questions or things to add to this. I said it wouldn't be too long. It's probably longer than need to be already, but I just wanted to give my thoughts on Inglorious REX Volume 2, and I'll be back sometime, hopefully soon, with a review of Godlike. I'm trying to get more of these things because otherwise I read something and I wait to the main podcast, which is usually every other week, and it just gets to be a long thing, and then a long thing of me just talking to you and ignoring Andrea as I review yet another comic book or something like that. So you can find a lot of my other comic book reviews over the years on the main show. These days, I try to usually put chapters so you can go in there and look through and pick out there. I don't separate out reviews into videos much these days as I probably should, but this is my sort of answer to that now is just doing these short little live streams to discuss something specific. Sometime we'll have to do maybe things I'm looking forward to in the crowdfunding space or whatever. See, like, share, subscribe, all those sorts of things. Follow, be much appreciated. Our next show should be, we just did an anime show on you can find it on demand on Twitch and X and Kick. But if you want, and it's on podcast directories, but otherwise on YouTube, the Ohio Anime YouTube channel, you can find it there. We're talking about Kaiju number 8, the first, I think 7 episodes that are presently available. So you can check that out if you're interested in monsters, Kaiju, or if you've read Inglorious REX. Now go and watch Kaiju to kind of continue that mind space until Inglorious REX 3 comes out. I think that's kind of a good idea, actually. And then, but yeah, our next episode, I think, is going to be another anime episode. Usually we go back and forth. So it'll be another Ohio anime episode. It'll go live on here, and it should be talking about Demon Slayer. So first 5 episodes of the new season of Demon Slayer. And otherwise, stay tuned for any more live streams like this about something specific. And